Okay, this is a Mercedes OVP relay from my 560 SL. Same kind of relay can be found in a 420 SEL, 380 SL. Like all the older Mercedes cars have one of these over voltage protection relays, and they're pricey. They're $400 to $500 now new, and they can cause all kinds of problems from ABS lights going on, high idle, that kind of stuff. So you can rebuild them, or check to see if you can rebuild them. So first thing you want to do is take the 10 amp fuse out of the top. First thing you want to do is, if you have a problem with one, is check that fuse, the 10 amp fuse. And it just slides out. And what this thing basically does is it sends power through this relay to the idle control unit, to the car's computer, to the ABS unit, and it sends a certain voltage through. And when that voltage exceeds a certain voltage, it will go back through into this fuse and pop the fuse, so that it's like a protection circuit for the sensitive computer parts. So now you're going to see this red top, plastic top, and you can remove that. Gently pry it up. Okay, got that part off. And now this part slides back. And now we're going to slide this off. There should be a little protector. There it is right there. There's a little piece of plastic protection on the inside that keeps these little solder joints. Oh, wonder of wonders. These little solder joints from contacting the outside of the case, this little plastic protector. So make sure that goes back in when you put the thing back together. So as we can see here, we have some rust, corrosion. So that could be an OVP issue and cause this relay to not work properly. Just gonna check over everything else. But my bet is that's not good. So I'm going to get some electrical contact cleaner. It's spray on. Always get the stuff that's good for plastic, that won't rot plastic, because most electrical contact cleaner will rot plastic. And then we're going to retin these solder joints. So I'm going to clean this up with a toothbrush and some contact cleaner, and we'll be back with a soldering gun. Okay, the relay is cleaned off. This is the contact cleaner I used. Well, I've been using for years. One bottle lasts you forever, unless you're doing this stuff all the time. I'm going to try and show you the spots that I think we have an issue with. Right here on this larger solder joint, you can see there's like a little crack, a little separation along the bottom. And remember, this is from 1988. It says so on the side of the relay, 021188. So it's quite an old relay. I believe there's an issue down here and here. I'm just waiting for my soldering gun to heat up, and all I'm going to do is touch the soldering gun to each one of these soldered joints, and it will remelt and hopefully re-pull around where it's supposed to be soldered. And I'll show you that in a minute. There was one more spot. Of course, I took my glasses off. It was, oops, there's my pointer. So yeah, this one right here, I don't know if you can see just along the bottom, there's kind of a crack, or a gap, we'll call it, in the bottom, around this pin here. See the dark circle, the line around the pin where it's soldered? That's probably not a good joint anymore. And this one here, just all along the bottom, it doesn't seem to be connected properly. Anyway, it's all cleaned off, and once this soldering, oh, this one as well, has a very dark circle, oops, dark circle around the pin, where the pin is pulled into the solder. That's probably not connected properly. So anyway, we will re-tin these in a minute once this soldering iron heats up. Okay, now that my soldering iron is good and hot and I've fluxed it, you can see how quick this can actually work. In that case, we blow a hole in the solder. That's where you need to add a little bit extra. I believe there's nothing on that side anyway. I think that's just a bridge in the circuit board. Excuse me. I believe I got them all. I think. If you see one, let me know. Anyway, let's clean this off and take a look. I don't like the look of that pin right there, that one that goes up to the fuse. I'm sure it's fine, but we're going to just tin that one again anyway. Huh, why aren't you melting? Be careful not to touch the plastic and just touch the solder itself. Appears that solder is very crumbly. I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, there we go. I believe that was just residue from the cleaning spray that kind of contaminated that joint when I soldered it, or when I put the soldering gun to it. Soldering iron. They used to look like guns, the old-fashioned ones. That's why they called them soldering guns back then. Anyway, I think we're good. And to put it back together, let's clean that off one more time, just to make sure. Let's put our plastic protective cover on. Wow, that's kind of close there, isn't it? See at the side? I could, well, I don't think it's going to, but I mean, it goes in between there. Not liking that. I'm going to grab a piece of electrical tape or paper or something to just cover this side. Those two solder joints are just a little too close to the edge for my liking. If they ground out against the case, again, this is a $500 part. And you can see it doesn't really cover perfectly. Okay, what I decided to do is just cut a small piece of plastic with a little extension ear here to cover up these two pins. I just don't like the way they're semi-exposed. And now I'm going to slip the top back on. Oh, are we watching? Yes, we are. Oops, get under there. There we go. And bottom piece slides in that way. And then this sucker goes on this way. And hopefully we've just solved any issue with our very expensive OVP relay. Now, if you've got an older Mercedes, I'll just add this in here. Older Mercedes with the, I don't know what type of fuses they're called. They're the plastic ones with like the visible fusible link in them that's kind of on the outside. They're plastic, and then they've got the little, just a little metal strap going over top of them. Take those and spin them within their mount. Just kind of grab it and turn it, and that will give you better contact in there, because just sitting there for years and years and years, they can semi-corrode and not make great contact. And some of this stuff is very sensitive to voltage, so hopefully this solves our high idle problem. Probably not, because we don't have an ABS issue, but never know. I'll give it a shot. Thank you very much for watching. If this stuff helps you at all, please like, subscribe, and anyway, thanks for watching again.